Day 18, Monday the 18th of May. This morning we took the road to Chilkoot Reserve. It was a lovely drive along the ocean side on a very narrow road. There were a couple of tour buses parked up on the way, and everyone was out with their cameras. When we got to Chilkoot Reserve, we noticed some people getting into canoes to row around the lake. The lake itself was covered in a fine mist, which made it look quite eerie, but very spectacular.
Heading back towards town, there was a road off to the left, and it was a no-exit road, and we debated for a bit whether or not we should go out and have a look. We decided, yep, we'll do this, and we are so glad that we did. One of the locals down that road had just pulled her dog inside because she said that there is a bear wandering around on the mudflats. Sure enough, a little way down the road, as we were driving along the water's edge, we saw a grizzly bear wandering around the flats looking for food. Jumping out of the car, setting up the tripod, and setting up the video to catch all this. Almost next to the bear, and you could imagine them like watching over its shoulder, there were 3 bald eagles, and they were totally unfazed by the bear. It was amazing. We've been driving around looking for eagles, and there we have 3 of them and a bear, all in the one scene. We stayed quite a while, and we chatted to another local man who told us that last season one of the bears had 4 cubs, and that might mean that some of them may not survive because she can't feed them all. But this bear, it was extremely healthy and had a good amount of weight on it. We were left in awe at being able to just sit and watch the bear and the birds appearing to be quite at home with one another. From there, we headed back into town and stopped at the visitors centre. This time, it was open. I told the lovely lady about our wonderful experience at the dump station yesterday. She apologised for our experience and told us that we can fill up with fresh water from outside the visitors centre.
We popped into the grocery store and were really impressed with what was available. After loading up the cab with our groceries, we set off down the Haines highway.
We soon crossed the Canadian border, and so for a short while we're in BC, and yet Yukon is just a little further up the road.
It's hard to describe how stunning the scenery is, and yet apparently the best views are when you're driving towards Haines, not driving away from it as we are today.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we had someone say that the Haines Highway is a real beaut, and that it is.
I've always wanted to go to Switzerland and see the mountains, all because I love the book Heidi and how the shepherds and the goats go up in the mountains. I no longer have that desire to go to Switzerland, as I am sure it is much like what we are seeing here. The desire has been completely met in the mountains of Alaska and Canada. My cup is full.
Oh my gosh.
And we're on the top of the Haines Highway. You can't tell the snow from the cloud, but you can see the peak there. It's good, we've got a place to stop. We get to know how high we are. We get to see we can't stay the night here. That's a shame. get to see Sharon's smiling face.
Looking at the squirrels.
Yes, and the squirrels right here next to us.
Those look like big rats.
They do look like big rats. And on one of our many photo stops, and I do say many, we had light snow falling on us. And for many people that means nothing, but that's something that I've only experienced a few times in my short life. Further up the road, on the edge of the highway, and just before the Yukon border, we pulled into one of the many rest areas that are along their roads, and we now have a lovely spot by a lake for the night. And like many other nights so far, we have a view of snow-topped mountains out of our window. That's us for now.